The World Cup final just showed up a round early. Tuesday. Arlington, Texas. Two teams that have now met in the semifinals of 3 straight major tournaments. One trophy on the line. And 2 of the best players on the planet finally sharing a pitch on the international stage. This is France versus Spain. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to watch for. Let's start with France, because their tournament so far has been, frankly, terrifying for everyone else. 6 games. 6 wins. 0 draws, 0 losses. France hasn't trailed in a match all tournament, and they've outscored opponents by a wide margin along the way. A win here would make them just the second team ever to go 7 for 7 at a World Cup, joining Brazil in 2002, and matching France's own feat from 1998. And the reason is obvious: Kylian Mbappé. He's been the tournament's leading scorer, and he's scored in every single knockout match France has played. That knockout stage scoring record is already his alone. If he adds to it against Spain, he moves closer to matching the all-time World Cup scoring record. But this isn't a one-man show. Michael Olise, in his first World Cup, has been quietly brilliant, leading the tournament in assists and sitting one behind a Pelé-held record for a single edition of the tournament. The only real question for France: they haven't been truly tested yet. Is that because they're just that good, or is a real test still waiting for them? Spain's story is different. Messier. More human. They got here beating Belgium 2-1, but it wasn't comfortable. Spain dominated possession and chances all night, then conceded their first goal of the entire tournament just before halftime, snapping a scoreless streak that had lasted well over 600 minutes. On the other side, Belgium's own night went from bad to worse. Their goalkeeper went off in tears with an injury, and his backup fumbled a routine save. Spain pounced on that mistake, with Mikel Merino scoring the 88th minute winner, his second match winner in as many knockout rounds, to send Spain through. Spain is unbeaten in 36 straight games, one shy of tying the all-time record. This is their first World Cup semi-final since they won the whole thing in 2010. And then there's Lamine Yamal. After an electric Euro 2024 and a dominant Nations League run, his World Cup has been quiet, 1 goal contribution back in the group stage, nothing since. Everyone's waiting to see if the biggest stage of his career so far is the moment he switches back on. Here's the matchup everyone's actually tuning in for: Mbappé versus Yamal. Club rivals, Real Madrid and Barcelona, now standing on opposite sides of a World Cup semi-final. Mbappé, the most clinical finisher in the tournament right now. Yamal, the teenager who's already been the best player in Europe on his day, just looking for the day to arrive again. Tactically, this is where both coaches earn their money. Does France's back line get help containing Yamal, at the cost of pushing more numbers forward? Does Spain's midfield sit deeper to control Mbappé's space in behind, at the cost of their usual possession-heavy identity? Watch the wide areas early. Whoever wins that battle, Mbappé's runs in behind versus Yamal's ability to create something from nothing, is probably going to decide this game. So that's the picture heading into Tuesday. On one side, an undefeated France side that hasn't trailed once all tournament, built around the most informed scorer in the competition. On the other, a Spain team that hasn't lost a game in over 3 years, but has had to fight for almost everything the last 2 rounds instead of cruising. That contrast is really the whole story here. France arrives looking untouchable. Spain arrives having already been tested, down a goal for the first time all summer, forced to wait until the final minutes to find a way through. Whoever wins this doesn't just get a spot in the final, they get to say they went through the hardest version of this tournament to get there. And on Bastille Day, in Texas, with 2 of the best young players in the world on the same pitch for the first time on this stage, it's about as big a stage as international football gets outside the final itself. 2 teams. 2 very different roads to the same Tuesday night in Texas. One that's looked unstoppable from the first whistle, and one that's had to earn every single step. That's the story of this World Cup semi-final, and by Wednesday morning, one of these 2 will be 1 win away from lifting the trophy. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Storyline Football for more daily football stories.